Folks, my first guest tonight is an actor, a producer, and a Twitter pioneer who now stars in the Netflix series The Ranch. Please welcome Ashton Kutcher. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Right up there, young man. Nice to see you again. People seem very happy. How's your summer going so far?
My summer's going amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's incredible. My wife was working on a movie in Atlanta.
Mila Kunis, the lovely.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
So I got to spend the last 2 months in Atlanta just running after the kids and hanging out. Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy any of the regional food that Georgia allows?
I gained like 10 pounds. Like for real.
That's Georgia.
Between that and the beer, it's funny when you don't work all day, you can drink beer in the middle of the day, and it's awesome.
I look forward to it.
And I found, and it's right here. I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
I'm saving it.
Well, let me ask you something here. I got a question for you. You've invested in Uber, Spotify, Warby Parker, Airbnb, Skype. You like to support new technologies that allow people to communicate and have commerce in new ways. That's right. Like if I had a new idea, what are the questions that you would be asking me about my product? Like what do you need to know before you go, yeah, Kutcher's in?
My biggest thing is like founders first. So I want to know that.
What's that, founders first? What do you mean?
Yeah, so I believe that the founders of the company, because I'm usually investing really early stage when it's like 2 guys, a dog, and a PowerPoint presentation.
Like Airbnb, you jumped in early on that, right?
Yeah, I think there were like 20 or 30 employees when I invested. It was like probably 4 or 5 years ago or something. Yeah. But I want to know that the idea is audacious and that it's something that has like a gigantic total addressable market. I usually like it when at first it doesn't land in your ear right. Like it almost needs to seem nonsensical. Like the idea that people are just going to sleep on people's couches and like everyone's going to be cool with that was kind of crazy.
Is that the one that surprised you the most? Because of all these things, because so many of these things that you've invested in have been successful, is there one that took off and you go like, I kind of even surprises me?
I mean, Airbnb is shocking. To me, Uber was shocking. The fact that like everybody was going to pay a little more to ride in a black car. I was like, don't we just want to get there? Like, and then all of a sudden, it turns into this juggernaut. But there's even stuff like, you know, there's a company called Acorns that we just invested
Acorns?
in. Acorns.
Okay.
And this company's amazing. Like it's basically like a tip jar for your spending. So when you spend, you round it up, you tip it, and you tip it into Acorns, and then it invests it for you in like an intelligent, balanced portfolio.
Wait a second. So what happens? I didn't even hear the beginning of the sentence. So I'm spending money with my phone. I'm using
it rounds up whatever your expenses are to the nearest dollar.
So literally, I go buy a coffee or something.
Yeah, and then say it's like, you know, $1.65. It'll take the other 35 cents and it immediately puts it into your Acorns account, and then it basically like starts to diversify and build up a savings portfolio for you.
What if I were to pitch an idea to you? Tell me what you think about this idea. Okay, it's a system that I'm working on. It's a communications technology company called Flurpy, okay? And in Flurpy, what you do is that you have some sort of sensor in your body that's always checking on your health, like what your temperature is, you know, your endocrine system. And if I get sick, it sends a signal. I don't even have to tell you. It just sends a signal to my friends going, hey, Steven's not feeling well. He's got a fever. Maybe he's feeling a little flurpy. And then people always say, like, if I'd known you were sick, I would have brought you soup or something. And suddenly, soup. I don't even have to ask for it. Flurpy.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I love it. I love it. One of those, it sounds absurd.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But maybe that's the next big thing.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Are you going to promote it on the show every night?
I'm
definitely in.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally. Are you working on
anything fun? The engineer to build it for you if you're going to do that.
Yeah, just make the probe comfortable. That's all I ask. Are you investing in anything fun now that people might be interested in hearing about? I hear you've got a cow thing going on.
Oh, yeah, I invested in a company called Cowler.
Cowler?
It's basically a Fitbit for cows. See? That's how I knew it was good.
Are our cows getting flabby? Why do what they need?
I'm at this incubator, and they're pitching like 100 companies.
And an incubator is what?
Incubator is where young technology people go to like build their company from the ground up, and it's like a supportive community to help them build it.
Yeah, sure.
And this guy pitches a Fitbit for cows, and everyone laughs, and I'm like, that's funny, but it's not, because if you think about dairy cow production, you actually need to know exactly when the cow's pregnant in order to hit the cycles in order to get the milk from the cow, right?
Sure, yeah.
So, and the existing infrastructure for this is ridiculously expensive and not brilliantly built, and these guys are doing it at a reasonable price that actually increases dairy production yield. And it's like,
and that's from knowing how many steps the cow took that day?
How
do you know the cow's not just doing this in the field, just shaking their paws? Because that's what everybody just does. I'm at 10,000. I'm good.
I'm gonna get him today. I'm gonna get him today. It tracks the temperature of the cow. It tracks the location of the cow, so you know if your cow's like getting in the rain. It is. It's basically Flurpy. We can strap
the cows.
Flurpy.
I'm suing the damn cows.
They stole your idea.
Lawyer up, Bessie. Wow.
So that one's a good one. Oh, there's another company we just invested in called Hooked, which is really cool. What? There's users and they're here.
He's just a pirate up there. What is Hooked?
This is like, I think it's like the new form of storytelling, which is we're so used to reading text messages that we're building a narrative computation in our brains that is from reading text messages. And what this does, it's just basically like it's storytelling, but through a text message format. So it'll start out, and the first one will be like, "Mom, don't come upstairs," and then you click it, and then it comes as like,
so
what?
It's all written by 14-year-old boys.
It's amazing. And it's like a horror story where you're like enthralled because you're so used to the emotional response that you get from reading text messages.
Oh, and you're hooked on the story.
And you're hooked.
Oh, wow.
And it's
I'm in. I'm in.
All right, you want in that one?
I'm in for $40.
And the cow one, too?
And the cow one.
Cowler and Hooked, you're in.
But why should I buy the cow when I can get the milk for free, Ashton Kutcher? That's what I ask. Okay, now you were a Twitter pioneer. You were the first person to hit 1 million people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think our president has made and nothing to do with politics. We're not asking
right, no, nothing to do.
Politics. I'm just asking, our president has made a bit of a career the last few years on Twitter, and now he's the most powerful Twitter user in the world.
Yeah.
What do you think of the way he tweets? You got any critique of his use of the technology? Just as a pioneer. I'm just asking as a pioneer, not a political consultant.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. When Twitter first started, when I first got on Twitter, you could actually kind of say whatever you thought and get high-quality feedback loops really, really quickly, and then refine what you thought and then repost it. But it was before media was really following what people were saying on Twitter. And so it was like, you could put a fragile idea out into the world and get high-quality feedback and then amend it and then go with whatever you felt. And now it's a broadcasting system. It's like a giant broadcasting system. And so I think that his tweets would have done a lot better 5 years ago when you could share an idea that wasn't fully baked.
Well, hold on.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that like wholly judgmentally, but I kind of feel like emotions can get the best of you when you have that big of a megaphone, and sometimes it's better to mull it over a bit.
Did you invest in Twitter?
No.
Why not? You were the pioneer. Why didn't you put your cash in?
I was not the pioneer. I was just a user.
Well, you were a pioneering user. How about that?
It's actually the thing that made me start investing in technology companies, because I realized the value that I could bring by adopting it and promoting it, and I realized that, wow, there's a lot of value that I left on the table by not having equity. And the founder, Jack Dorsey, when he started his next company, Square, I actually invested in that company.
That's the thing, the
Swipe, yeah.
The Swipe thing?
Yeah, which is doing really well as a company on the public market now. But I invested in there, so I made good on. He hooked me up.
All right. Tell him about Flurpy.
I will.
Now, you've got the second season, but it's called part 3.
Yes.
Of your series, The Ranch.
It's really confusing. It's just part 3. Let's just call it part 3.
But it's season 2.
Season 2, part 3.
That would be the 6th installment, wouldn't it?
It's the third. It's part
simple math. Okay, so it's called The Ranch. It's a sitcom on Netflix. What made it right for Netflix? Is there bad words? Is there?
Yeah, it's pretty raunchy.
Is there nudity?
Yeah, there's some. Mostly me.
We're selling tickets right now. It's The Ranch. I assume there's some assless chaps going on.
Just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing I grew up on like 80s sitcoms, Roseanne, and was like fully like inundated with these families that were like Midwestern families that felt like my family. And I realized
you're from Iowa.
I'm from Iowa, and so I related to that family. Like I actually was able to sort of exercise ideas through watching the show and laugh with this family and realize that we weren't the only, poor middle class family trying to struggle and get by in the world, and there was someone else that was out there that was like us. And I looked around at what was on television, and there was nothing that was representing that community. And especially in the middle of the country with conservative beliefs on a ranch that's being torn apart by globalization and big industry farms coming in and taking these guys out. And I thought, wait, those people are out there and they're totally underrepresented. And every time you see conservative points of view on television, people are making fun of it. But there are people that really connect with that and they believe that. And so the show's kind of like a country song. And it's really...
The show's like a country song?
Yeah, it's like a country song. Like you lose your wife and your dog and you get drunk on beer. and that it's really kind of what the ethic of the show is. And it's fun because Netflix lets us go for it. They let us let it all hang out there.
Well, we have a clip here. Can you tell us what's going on in this clip? I think it's something having to do with breakfast.
Yeah, this is breakfast. I'm pretending like I'm making my girlfriend breakfast to say sorry.
Jim?
Just cooking a little breakfast for my favorite girl.
You don't cook.
Oh, well, these hotcakes and sausages beg to differ.
Oh, are you doing that thing where you run to McDonald's and then pretend to cook for me?
No.
What if I check the garbage?
No, please don't do that.
I kind of let the punchline out, didn't I?
Well, nice to see you again, man.
Pleasure, man.
Congratulations on the new show. The Ranch Part 3 is on Netflix. Ashton Kutcher, everybody. An investor in Flurpy. We'll be right back.